Kal Alal Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kudash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Today's lesson: who is likely to get conscripted if World War III kicks off? Firstly, young and fit men are the most likely to get drafted in to serve, particularly those aged 18 to 25. In 1939, those aged 21 and 22 were conscripted before the war had even begun. Rules then changed to include men aged 18 to 41. So they're always changing. The article continues to say, single people without kids are also more likely to be drafted. In World War II, people without kids were drafted first to avoid disrupting families. Women are also likely to face conscription despite previously never having been drafted for direct combat. In World War II, women aged 20 to 30 were drafted in for roles related to the war, such as nursing, munitions, and auxiliary roles. Whether women will be drafted in for combat roles is still uncertain, but a recent YouGov poll said 72% of Brits support women on the front lines. So you see, they're always changing their laws. Former soldiers and reservists are also likely to be drafted, as they already have the training needed to get going quickly. If the war really dragged on, older people could be drafted in, you see? With people aged up to 51 being drafted by the end of World War II. Those aged 52 to 60 also had to take on a role in civil defense, so no one could really escape their responsibilities. And there you have it. So by the sound of this article, no one is exempt. And we told you that it was going to take place. An automatic military registration conscription draft is headed to the United States in December. And when World War III is declared, no soldier will come home. No soldier will come home in that worst world war to come. World War III shall be the war to end all wars. And when it comes to the scripture of 2 Esdras 16:33 and 34, it has spoken of that military draft to come. Let's go over to that scripture. Here we have 2 Esdras 16 and 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Right. There shall be many soldiers that shall perish in the wars, especially when it comes to that third world war of utter destruction. And there shall also be many casualties of war. But the scriptures have also said that no one dies innocent. Because a lot of people say, oh, that rocket veered off course and struck a civilian town, and many innocent people died. When it comes to those soldiers that partake in that destructive nuclear third world war to come, none shall return home. And in the time of conscription, it shall also come with violence. Look at what happened in the streets of Ukraine in the time of the draft. Recruiters were met with violence. They were targeted. That shall also come to modern day Babylon the Great, which is America. And when it comes to the scripture, it has said the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Right, because the women shall lose their men to the war. And when it comes to those Ukrainians out there, they're in need of soldiers. They have depleted their soldiers. Russia has killed them all. When we told you that a mandatory draft would come, many did not believe, and now there's a military draft scheduled for America in the month of December. And when it comes to the small hatters, the scriptures have said that the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right, the small hatters shall draw out the Americans to that destructive Third World War of Armageddon. Hebrew word Armageddon. The small hatters shall draw them out to their demise. 2 Esdras 16 and 34. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right. And right now we are currently witnessing that Iranian war taking place. But make no mistake, as soon as that deceitful CHIP of Revelation 13, 16 through 18 is fully implemented upon society, upon the world, that third world war of utter destruction cometh quickly. And Babylon the Great shall be utterly destroyed from coast to coast. And that land where the small hats are now inhabited shall also be destroyed. But Babylon the Great shall never rebuild, but the land that the small hats now inhabit shall definitely rebuild for the true people of the Lord. The people are still angry at the small hatters for coming up against Gaza. And the nations are also angry because they are being taken out of their comfort zone. The scripture has said, in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. Right, especially in that third world war of utter destruction that's to come. On the day of that greater destructive war, no soldier will come home, and many women shall mourn over their deceased husbands. And the word conscription, as defined by the Britannica Dictionary Online, means the practice of ordering people by law to serve in the armed forces. Right, the military draft. And is scheduled for December. The time will come when the Lord of hosts, hosts meaning armies, shall muster the host of the battle in that final showdown of World War III. And like I said, no soldier will come home. And women wanted equal rights as men. Now they got to fight in the front lines. That's why the article went on to say, let me read it again. It said, whether women will be drafted in 4 combat roles is still uncertain, but a recent YouGov poll said 72% of Brits support women on the front lines. So that could very well change, because it's 72% of Brits that support it. And that's high. And when it comes to Edom, he's always changing his laws. They can never stand. They can never leave them alone. They're always changing them in order to benefit them. But make no mistake, an inevitable third world war shall come as soon as they implement that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16 upon the world. As soon as that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16 gets fully implemented around the world, then that inevitable third world war of utter destruction cometh quickly. It shall follow quickly right after. That third world war shall end all wars. The husbands shall also perish of famine, and shall make women widows. Many women on that day will be looking for men. It's just as the scripture has said. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. They shall look for them to help them, but they're not going to be there because they have perished in the wars. And this is what's to be expected upon modern day Babylon the Great, which is America, in these end times. As soon as they pass, as CHIP of Revelation 11 and 14, then that third woe, that third world war cometh quickly. Year after year, we have been telling you that Babylon the Great will be destroyed due to biblical prophecy, and that the land that the small house now inhabit will also be destroyed. And that Babylon shall never rebuild, but the land that the small house now inhabit shall certainly be rebuilt, to welcome in the true people of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai. But we have also been telling you that a mandatory draft was to come, and now scheduled for December. And it's automatic, so that's definitely mandatory. Automatic registration. The Lord is the one that's bringing righteous judgment upon the small hatters, especially upon Tel Aviv, for its pink city. Why do you think Tel Aviv is being rocked? Because of its pink city. They're defiling the land of the Lord. Remember that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai, is a God of war, according to Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord is the one bringing judgment. The Lord doeth all these things according to the scripture of Isaiah 45 and 7. The Lord controls it all in a perfect balance. But when it comes to those dead bodies, that will be E's first job, to bury them all. With that being said, Kalallah Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Kudash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel. Blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Shalom.